the biggest thing, again, what you said with business is not taking things personal, right? You just, and that was me
That's
too.
a huge lesson.
Yeah.
For anybody to
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, that was me too. You ask the question of, you know, how have you grown? Any challenges? And me personally was getting out of my own way, right? Like sometimes you got to understand, you got to get out of your own way to make decisions, you know, but also understand that sometimes people just don't, you're not what they're looking for, you know?
Define
like,
that. Get out your own way.
So just when you're looking at a business decision, you have to be very omissive. You know, you have to look at it like getting out of your own way. So say like me, you know, I'm an open book. So I've come from dysfunctionality, divorce, foster care. I was a foster care recipient for about 7 years. I can't let those experiences traumatize me from success, right? And, you know, from the hood, if somebody said no, it was because they was trying to dub you or disrespect you. So if I go into a situation and somebody says, just no, you're not what we're looking for, I got to really take it as face value. Like, okay, I could do my convincing, you know, but I got to get on my own way, out of my feelings, out of my ego. Because my first venture, you know, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I let my ego get in front of something that was bigger than me, right? I was 6th gen to myself. So I had to let go of certain things and trying to protect something that's from the world in the first place. Because once you become an entrepreneur, your services is not about you anymore. It's for the people. And sometimes you want to have control over everything. And it's like, wait, you run a social enterprise. What are you doing? Right? So you just have to get, I know a lot of people who let their past experiences hinder their future, you know, in their own way. You know, it's a healing process. Like you literally, you know, no matter what type of traumas you're getting to, sometimes you got to understand that your mission is bigger than you, even though the mission is connected to what you want to do. So it's kind of counterintuitive in what you're doing, but it makes sense in everything that you're trying to do. So me, I will let my ego, I will let an argument I had yesterday determine a decision today. It was weird. I'm like, bro, like get out of your feelings, understand that it's bigger than you. And sometimes you have to delegate responsibilities as well when it comes to your mission. It's super important.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
for sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really good.
It's nice to cast out. Fell into my lap. I didn't know that what I was doing was going to bring me to this journey of entrepreneurship. And I decided that I didn't want to follow what the social norm of working a 9 to 5. I could be my own boss. I could monetize over my skill sets. And the most beautiful thing about entrepreneurship also is wealth. Building wealth.
It's the whole thing.
Right.
And I wanted to break that cycle in my family. Yeah, I was like, nobody's an entrepreneur in my family. Like, it's time for someone to break that cycle, and that's me.
I mean, entrepreneurship is the past,
still figuring
present,
it
and
out,
future.
you know?
Like, it's the past, present, and future. Like, everything we see is entrepreneurship. Real estate, the business you work for, every part of the earth is entrepreneurship in some sense. Where you live, how you travel, like somebody's running something, you know, or somebody provided the materials to build that infrastructure, right, at the top level. So once we understand that, like for me as well, I'm the same way. Like I just don't like taking orders, you know, I like freedom, you know, and I like to simplify my life. And I look at like humans, our primal instinct is to be hunters and gatherers, you know, is to be able to wake up and have the free will to do what we want to do with a certain discipline that we love, right? So, you know, for me growing up, you know, I always been artistic. I was very subtle and a big listener, so I wasn't wilding when I was growing up. You know, I had my days where I was, you know, going out with the friends and
I was wilding.
You know, but entrepreneurship, I think it really hit me probably like 2011, my first venture. And then, you know, when my daughter came, I was just like, I don't understand how everyone around me is telling I'm great. You know, I'm doing great things, but then I'm stuck in like this corporate environment where sometimes, you know, and people can relate to this. You feel like you're smarter or have a better capability than your supervisor, your boss, or the owner. So it's like, I was just like, all right, just do it. And, you know, I started my entrepreneurial journey. And then like in 3 months replaced my income and was like, oh, this is valuable. You know, it's like, you really look at it, you're like, do I really need to live off $8,000 a month? Or can I live off of like $4,000 and still have the same sense of livelihood? You know, so
it's not easy.
it's not easy. That's another thing as well. Is it's a lot of work.
Make that.
Yeah. You know, it's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of investment. You know, and
a lot of investment.
Yeah, like personally as well. Like I commit to at least 2 days. I mean, 2 hours. I commit to at least 2 hours a day, which is like 730 hours a year on personal development, and that's just intellectually. Outside of the physical, which is every other day, which is about 12 hours a week, times that by 52, we're looking at about 1,100 hours of personal development itself. So, you know, if you want to be
just
putting
took
that...
us to a math class on that.
Yeah, because I'm big on numbers, right? So it's like, yeah, because it's about 1095, if my calculations are right. So you got to look at it like, if I want to be an entrepreneur, I have to invest in myself and understand that everything is 100% responsibility.
Yeah.
Can't point fingers, can't say the email came late, can't say my supervisor didn't train me on this, you know, so it was something I developed into, but, you know, I know some people that's like, I was selling candy at 3, like, that wasn't me. You know, I was trying to still wipe my nose at certain ages. So, to be completely honest.
But do you think entrepreneurship is for everyone?
Me personally, I do.
Yeah, we always have this conversation. Cause
I literally feel like entrepreneurship is for everyone, and you can make money off your side hustle. I feel like everyone has a hustle or a skill set that they can monetize, and it makes you an entrepreneur right off the bat, right? So people don't understand that, like, oh, you know, well, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Like, define what entrepreneurship is.
Yeah.
It's taking
I feel
full
like people
responsibility.
can develop into becoming an entrepreneur. Like, you have to want it too.
Man, I feel like everybody can.
This is I feel like it's such a broad, you know, conversation, because in a way I do feel like entrepreneurship is not for everybody, because it's not for people who are doers, who are not doers. Like, you have to be a doer in order to be an entrepreneur.
On camera, we going,
you have to, and I know we speak about this all the time, like, it is conditioned, but I think that entrepreneurs have that different mindset, that different, I want better, I want wealth, I don't want to work for anybody, I'm constantly working on new ideas, I'm innovative. Like, you have to be able to have those entrepreneurship traits in order for you to continue the entrepreneurship route, which is why I always say that entrepreneurship is not for everybody.
I agree with you.
If you don't have the mindset.
But it's conditioning, because if my fight against that is conditioning. If you teach a group of people that college get a job over 2-3 centuries is the way, that's what you're gonna manufacture. And I always go back to 200 years ago, 200-300 years ago, right? 90% of the United States was entrepreneurs. 10% work for corporations, right? So back then, I feel like it's conditioning, because even if you're not entrepreneurial, if I'm around entrepreneurs, it's gonna tap into me, because human beings is about conditioning. You can make or break a habit in 3 weeks. So that's like somebody saying, I'm not a reader. Everybody,
But I'm gonna counter argue with you on that.
Yeah, go.
Because just like Jes says, you could be conditioned for it, but that does not mean you're literally have that core value in you. Because when a lot of people, when it comes down to the time, the money, that you can't go here, you can't go hang out with your friends this weekend because you have to invest in your business. You can't just get up and stay up all night when you have a deadline. A lot of people, they may say, you know what, I'm good with my job. Like, I don't need to deal with this. The stress alone, a lot of people may not be down for that stress.
Yeah, I feel
that's why I don't believe when people say it's conditioned, because when you are actually in it, it's a whole different ball game. Everybody's journey is different. My journey is not like your journey or your journey, and your journey is not like my journey. Everybody has their own path, and some people may say like, yeah, entrepreneurship is for everybody. But when some people start the journey to what they want, the goal that they want to do in entrepreneurship, they may come to the decision like, this is not for me.
Right. Yeah. I get you. We don't have to agree to disagree. I respect all opinions, but I really feel like, and I truly feel like it's conditioning, and I think we need to redefine what entrepreneurship is in a sense, right? So for me, entrepreneurship is innovation plus profit plus philanthropy, right? And I feel when we think about entrepreneurship, we always think alpha, me only, right? Where we don't really look at the full system that makes up an entrepreneurial system, right? So if I teach somebody, you have a passion, right? You're an accountant, you're a computer scientist, and I teach him we can find a way to monetize your skill set within this system, right? Because, you know, a lot of different skill sets, entrepreneurship at the end of the day is just monetizing a passion or your skill set. That's really what it is.
Right, right.
That's all it is, right? Like, we kind of look at it like I'm creating a new will. Like, if I'm somebody that's just, you know, like my boy, let's make it up. He's an accountant. He's going for his CPA. He works for EY, Ernst & Young. But I'm like, you can monetize that skill set and work with me, and I'll pay you to be my accountant and then refer you to more clients, right? So now it's not so much the pressures of, oh, I got to employ a lot of people. You're just outsourcing a skill set that you already have, what makes you an entrepreneur off the bat, right?
Right.
It's not so much like, there's different layers of entrepreneurship as well, right?
Okay,
There's the
you're
person,
right.
there's the, you know, the entrepreneur that's taking full responsibility and the pressure and brand new like us. But then there's the entrepreneur who's just providing a skill set and making money like that.
Right.
Where it's just like, oh, I got my clients. You know, where it's like, if we teach that mentality, right, over go to school, get a job, and then go, because you could be an entrepreneur, right, and fall into it. You get where I'm at, where it's like, I really feel it's conditioning, you know, and that's my analogy, because I feel the mainstream now is, well, everybody could be an employee, right? That's more valuable than everybody could be an entrepreneur. Why? It's conditioning, it's societal conditioning, it's industrial revolution since 1790 in UK, which stemmed over here, right? With the Andrew Carnegies, the Rockefellers. It's okay in a systematic, you're producing this. But then before, by birth, you was forced to be a farmer. You was forced to be an entrepreneur. And those businesses flourished. Even if you didn't like it. Because sometimes entrepreneurship, you ain't loving it every day. You know, every day you're not motivated, but you need discipline to keep going. There's some times where I just don't feel like writing, but I know I have to write. There's some times I don't feel like talking to a client, even though it's something I love. I just don't feel like it, but I keep doing it. So now I feel like when we kind of, the whole thing with entrepreneurship is like, oh, you have to be, this is the person that's taking all the stress and all of this and that. Why don't you just provide a skill set, like a photographer? Right? Where it's like, I could literally just love photography and just market my skill set and replace my income. I'm an entrepreneur.
Right.
With no stress. Like honestly, like my only stress would be making sure I'm on time. But I think we got to really redefine like what entrepreneurship is. And when we get to the core of it, it's just find an innovative way using your skill set, which is social media marketing, to make money and just give back.
Right. Because, okay, when you put it like that,
Yeah.
okay, it makes more sense
Yeah.
because however you define it, anybody could be considered as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like, say you have your home and you have an extra room in your home
Yeah.
you're renting out. You're an entrepreneur. In that
Airbnb,
way.
you're a real estate investor. Like we got to look at it like, okay, what's entrepreneurship? Oh, it's this and me making money without me. I'm an owner of my rights and simple. Now, I literally feel anybody could go, right, incorporate, put 200, 300, 700 if you want the whole packet together, and monetize their skill sets, especially with the internet. Now you're an entrepreneur.
Okay, I take what I said back.
Yeah.
No, but I respect
It makes
it.
sense.
I respect
It makes sense.
I respect
I feel
that.
like, yes, it makes sense. But what happens if that entrepreneur person who is no longer conditioned decides to no longer be an entrepreneur?
Yeah,
like
but-
what happens when that person loses that passion?
It's hard to turn off condition as mankind. It's hard to. You have to go through crisis and a major shift to change. Like if you've been loving for 10 years, it's hard to turn that off. How do you stop being loving? You have to recondition yourself. You got to really be. If I've been an entrepreneur for 3.5 years, you think I'm gonna lose the entrepreneur capacity? It's impossible.
No, but then again, we condition ourselves all the time.
Right.
Like somebody who grew up in poverty, all of a sudden they're a successful either working
Right.
with somebody or
Right.
entrepreneur. They condition themselves within a mind state to be where they are right now. So what Jes says,
Right.
it is possible that somebody could lose that love
Yeah.
and just fall back.
But we
And
gotta
I don't want to
understand-
do this no more.
Entrepreneurship, another thing, is continuously growing. We talked about that, right? So it's you have to continuously grow and develop, right? So if I fall in love with a passion or something, or I'm doing something entrepreneurially, it's really connected to some type of passion or skill set that I mastered, right? So now I'm continuously learning. I know, like, everyone feels like entrepreneurs is just like, I started a business and I'm making a money.
We're going to keep going.
No, it's a good. No, it's a good. No, this is good.
No, you know what?
I think this is good for a show. Like, this is we have to.
It's a really good time.
I really feel like we need to teach entrepreneurship. We need more like Montessori schools. We need away from scholastics and failing yes, no, 50. We need to teach creativity and free thought and free thinkers, because that's what's going to drive America. That's what's going to drive. All we can offer right now is information that other countries is already coming up on. We need more builders. We need those type of people that can manufacture and create new things from scratch. Our school system doesn't allow that. It teaches one skill set, work for somebody. It doesn't give you the room and space to be creative.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. You get creativity and innovation from a conditioning of free thought, you know? It's a good, it's
This is
I'm sorry, I got passionate. Yeah.
We're gonna keep going on because this is a really good topic.
Yeah.
That individually, we all have our own input.
I believe in people, and I believe, I'm working on a curriculum right now where we need to teach entrepreneurship, stocks and bonds, investments, how to think, building on soft skills. We don't teach that in schools, so I'm working on that to sell that.
Yeah.
It's like the things that make you rich and wealthy, we're not teaching in schools, but we're paying 50 to 200,000, $500,000 ongoing. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, so yeah.
What will be the next prom giveaway?
Next year, hopefully, God willing, with the help of so many people, and I'm bringing you on board too.
I'll be more than happy to help.
Yes. So next year, I hope to reach out to different schools throughout the tri-state area, and hopefully the West Coast and Miami. Here comes my
so infatuated with your shirt.
Now I'm fixing her.
So June 18th will be the
in 2019.
2019, yes, 2019.
But the June 18th, is that the prom for this year?
That's the prom for this year.
Okay.
And so next year the deadline will be June 19th.
June 19th?
So, yeah, I already have that.
Anybody who wants to apply, by when do they have to apply, and where can they go to apply?
So they can start applying by the beginning of September, October. Email me, industryhigh@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, I'm on everything. YouTube, at Jes Perez.
And what areas are you focusing on? Is it just the greater New York area, or you're just open to everywhere?
I'm focused on, yes, New York will always be like the main place where I would love to continue to give, prom dresses, but I'm also focusing on like the West Coast, Miami, Chicago, why not, and other cities. So I just need everyone to spread the word about Prom Princess Giveaway, and anyone who is willing to collaborate. I'm always looking for fashion designers, makeup artists, photographers. You're welcome to be a part of this.
Wholesalers too, with shoes and
shout out to Blush Prom, who donated over 25 dresses this year.
Beautiful. Blush Prom, you're amazing. And Castell, where can I connect with you?
Yeah, so I'm super active on Instagram. Very, very direct. At CJR Barnes, BARNES. Again, that's at CCat Joseph Rabbit Barnes, BARNES, like Barnes & Noble. And also, websites coming, subscribe. Got some great things coming.
Yes.
So that's www.cjrbarnes.com. Everything's actually there. You can get the album, the books, all my social media handles. Look out for new episodes of Insights with Castell. Got some new heat coming. So yeah, that's everything there. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you've heard it from Jes Perez and Castell JR Barnes, their self. Like I said today, word of the day is conditioning. And look out every Tuesday for more dope episodes of dope entrepreneurs like these two right here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My name is Andrea of MAKADREZ.com. We will speak to you soon.